WNYU's new afternoon show, the Sugarcubes, from the Life's Too Good compact disc, which features 17 songs, unlike the import LP or compact disc, which only features 10 songs, and the domestic LP, which has 11. Before that, the song was called Delicious Demon. Before that, the Sisters of Mercy, a brand new remix of Lucretia, My Reflection. Public Enemy before that from the LP, which will be out in about a month. It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. We heard Caught, Can I Get a Witness, courtesy of Gary Lucas, brought us that one down in advance, so we thought you might want a little taste of it. Paul Kay and the Weathermen started it off from their brand new LP, Patriots. We heard Landfill Blues, and as I said, all you New Jersey folks should know what I'm talking about, driving up and down the turnpike, seeing all those nasty garbage landfills. My special guests in the studio this afternoon, I believe this is their debut U.S. radio interview. We have Einar Björk and Thor of the Sugarcubes. How's it going?
Hot.
Hot, yeah, definitely hot. And you got that heavy leather jacket on, so you're not doing much to help. And the leather pants. And the Swans t-shirt. Unbelievable. So you're definitely overdressed, I would say.
I'm not overdressed. I dress it off.
You dress it off?
I definitely do.
Yeah, but what happens?
He's taking part of a scientific exploration on how to dress heat off. And he in fact, he's got a lot of kormælar.
What does that mean?
I've got lots of meters all around me.
All around his body, and there's a scientific building just up the road, sort of checking out what they say, and he's doing really well.
So it's a matter of heat absorption or something like that?
Yeah.
You reflect it as opposed to dragging it in?
Yeah.
It's about being able to wear these clothes in any even how cold it gets, it doesn't matter, or how hot it gets. So in the future this will be the astronaut outfit. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go, it will always be the right thing.
And the scientists, they can follow him around New York City. They just have to trail his sweat around town.
So the scientists will be wearing the leather gear in the future?
Hopefully.
Yes.
They'll be looking like Sid Vicious or something like that with their Doc Martens approaching Mars at 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit and nothing will happen.
Nothing. I'm like the man Icarus. My next
Icarus?
Icarus. My next project is traveling to the sun, because they haven't yet figured out why it is there, and they want to ask us. Yeah, and they want me to find the string that's holding it up.
It sounds like a high-risk job. I hope you get paid a lot of money to do this kind of research.
No, I just enjoy it.
So it's a charity type thing for the advancement and benefit of mankind as we know it?
Yes.
Well, he gets down to history for it, doesn't he?
True, you will be noted in the history books.
I won't be noted in history for being a sugar cube, but I will be noted as the leather man on the sun.
I mean, Icarus Einar.
Icarus Einar, but you're not going to make the wax wings, are you? We wouldn't want that to happen because we'll know, you'll wind up plopping into the sea. Plastic wings?
I'm going to use glass fiber.
Leather wings. That'll work pretty well.
Yeah.
So you're in the U.S. after some hassles, I understand, getting in the first time. I mean, we expected you to play, actually, a gig, I'd say, earlier this month, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, you were not allowed, I guess, to immigrate.
No, we were not allowed to enter final.
According to immigration and laws like that.
We didn't even get visitors' visas.
Now, why was that?
I think they thought that it was a bit dangerous that a group of 6-7 Icelanders applied for visa from London. Why don't they do it from Reykjavik, Iceland? And so possibly they thought we were communists.
Really?
Yeah, but then they realized... Possibly. But then they possibly realized that we were anarchists, so we got our visas, and we're here.
But they never offered you an explanation?
Yeah, there was one explanation available. It was... we didn't really tribute to American culture.
Really?
Yep.
No contribution to the American culture?
Nope.
I guess they didn't hear the record then.
No, they heard the record.
And they thought that?
They heard the record.
I guess they haven't gone to any of the local record stores then, because when it was out as an import, even before it came out here, I saw a lot of people going in and buying the record up.
But there were loads of guesses, like our latest single in Britain is called Deus, and the first sentence in that song is God does not exist.
Right, Deus does not exist.
So, we had billions of guesses why we couldn't get in, but we didn't get any. We didn't get any definite reason from the embassy or anything.
No, I know a lot of people were disappointed in that you didn't play because they were looking forward to seeing the show.
Yeah, well, you can just imagine what we felt. We felt terrible. We were mentally prepared to come over here and play a show. We've done 9 brilliant shows in England and Scotland, and we wanted desperately to come over here and continue that sort of feel that we had, and now we have to go to Europe to warm up for hopefully our next tour in July, August.
It's kind of ironic that you couldn't play as prepared or as planned on in the U.S. because, as well, I guess I read that Thor broke his hand, forcing a postponement or a cancellation until a later date of the England gigs.
Yeah.
So there again, it wasn't immigration problems or anything, but you had the gig set up, and I'm sure you were ready to go, and you couldn't as you wanted to. It had to be a little later.
Yeah, and we nearly had to cancel our British tour because on our third gig, Bragi, the bass player, he walked on stage in Glasgow, Scotland, and guess what? He broke his little toe.
Well, it was Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it was Friday the 13th, and he just stumbled on stage with dark glasses and the bass in one hand and beer bottle in another one, and rock and roll! No light,
and he fell down.
He fell down and broke his toe?
Yeah, little toe.
So you
Not
guys,
his foot, just his toe.
do you think there's any reason why this dark cloud of bad luck may be following you around?
Oh no, there's not a dark. I think these moments are made for us to laugh at, and we continue to laugh at it.
I mean, when we finally found out that we couldn't do anything to change, that we wouldn't be able to come to the States in May, we just tried to make it our benefit, and we had a really good time in Iceland, relaxed, and we did a gig there, played on the Icelandic bus day, on the roof of the bus station there, with a bus behind us as our dressing room.
A 60-seater coach was hauled up onto the roof, and that was our dressing room.
They lifted a bus with a crane onto the roof?
Yeah, and they loved it.
Rock and roll. It sounds a little extravagant,
And I held a birthday of my kid. I was baking cakes for 2 days, and he was 2 years old, and he got a tricycle and drum kit, 2 guns and a condom.
Guns? And a condom for a 2-year-old?
Hey, he's a cowboy.
He's got to learn early, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So are you guys well received in Iceland? Do you have a large local following back there? Are you local heroes?
Do you call 200 people a large crowd?
200?
Yeah, no, I mean, we've always had very good live attendances to our concert, but we never sold many records. But now, because we are famous in Iceland, we're world famous in Iceland for being.
Yeah. They think we're driving limousines all the time, and that we eat caviar and all that stuff. They think we're really world rich, and we're meeting people like Joan Collins and stuff like that. People in Iceland think that.
So do they buy the records more now, or come to the show more?
Now we've sold the equivalent. If we had the same sales over here that we have in Iceland, then we've done now 3,600,000 copies.
Over there?
Yeah.
In Iceland?
Yeah, but the equivalent. We only sold.
Each person bought 20.
Exactly. I was going to say, what's the population?
No, we've sold 3,600, but that's the equivalent
of 3 million over here.
Yeah, 3,600,000.
Right. If you multiply it by the volume of people, obviously.
Yeah.
So that must feel good.
But I can tell you one thing, that we released Birthday in Iceland in November '86. And it didn't get to the charts or anything, but then it became very sort of popular in Britain, and the people there who make the charts in Iceland decided to put a song by the Sugarcubes in the charts. I mean, they make them by hand at home, and then they put Cold Sweat in the charts
as opposed to Birthday.
Yes, but then they found out it was a mistake. It wasn't Cold Sweat that was in the charts in Britain, it was a Birthday, so they fixed that a week later, and it's just like that in Iceland, and that happened year after the song was first released in Iceland. So I mean, they don't like it, but they don't care so much, but if somebody from abroad tells them it's good, they say, oh yes, it's good.
So they're forced to respect you because of the respect you're receiving outside of your home country.
Yeah.
Well, we're mainly talking about the media, the sort of commercial media in Iceland, and sort of the most of the people in Iceland. And we just don't like that people can't decide for themselves what they like and what they don't like. Of course, there are many brilliant people in Iceland who's been, coming to our gigs, and are also, there are loads of things happening there that's really interesting. What the people we're describing now is mainly just sort of the mainstream.
Right. Now, a funny story I heard associated with your not being able to get into the U.S. and tying Iceland into this. I heard that when the Icelandic embassy found out that you couldn't get your visas through England, I heard that they called up the U.S. embassy and, used some sorts of, some means of threatening measures around the same time that our president was supposed to travel over to Russia.
We cannot comment on that.
How about if I comment on it and you just nod yes or no?
Let me tell you gossip, right? I won't.
We like gossip. We like gossip. This is the country of Joan Collins, as you just said.
Well, even though we were not in the Icelandic charts, he was in the American Embassy Communist charts, number 2, I think.
No, the gossip says that I'm on the list of possible terrorists.
You are?
Yeah.
Really?
And I'm number 2.
What do you do to earn that ranking?
I don't know. Blow my nose in front of the embassy or something. I don't know.
But
it's only gossip, and we.
It's only gossip.
And we find it terribly funny.
But that story I was referring to, would that happen to be true or false?
We can say that's. That
it's based on the truth.
It's based on the truth.
Shall we elaborate or leave the listeners in the dark?
I think they will be illuminated if they just think.
Let them use their own imagination. We'll let them play with the theater of the mind for a while, the radio element.
And enjoy what, everything, what they can make up their own story. We don't have to make it up for them.
I mean, James Bond went to Iceland.
Really? Which one was that in?
The Aha movie.
The Aha movie.
Wife to kill.
Wife to kill. A wife to kill.
A View to a Kill, or whatever that was?
Wife to kill. When the submarine comes up, it's a glacier. that shot is taken in Iceland.
I didn't see that one, so.
Yeah, we saw it 13 times.
I think it's funny how you refer to it as the Aha movie, though.
It is the Aha movie.
Because they had a song on the soundtrack or something? That's pretty interesting, the way you assimilate that. So how long has the group been together as the Sugarcubes?
2 years.
2 years. We were born on 8th of June 1986, 10 to 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
Well, happy birthday, because it's only 7 days, 1 week after you were born 2 years ago.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, and we're glad that, the Sugarcubes exist in the form that they do.
Can I sing an Icelandic song for you?
If you wish, please, feel free.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling, everybody sing, mellutna dansi hring, ding, kokkurinn á kafrinum, ríður öllum mellunum, ríður þeim í rass, segir síðan pass.
And what would that, can we get a brief summary of the lyrics?
No.
We might get in trouble if we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your face would become red.
So are you surprised with the success you're achieving outside of your home country? I mean, England, you guys were, touted as the next big thing. You would see everywhere on the, British trades, as we have one of the, I guess it sounds right here, with you guys were on the cover of that one, NME, Melody Maker, all followed.
Yeah.
Long articles about the Sugarcubes, long reviews of the gigs last month when you first played over there. I heard a really funny story about you, Björk, that you came out and the first thing you said was something that would make my face turn red if I said it on the radio.
I can't remember.
I can remember it.
You can?
But I'm not going to say it. It's in one of the first interviews.
Exactly, yeah. You don't want to come out on number 3 of the...
I remember it had been raining very much, and the guy who took the interview was very late. But finally when he came, I wasn't there.
No, it was actually before the gig, instead of, not the interview, but the show, when you first played England, the first show in England.
Oh, yeah.
You said, sorry I'm late, but I've been...
That was an interview.
That was in the interview.
Oh, really?
Because he came and he was very wet and all his clothes were wet and all that, and he was sitting there in the room and I didn't come. So I just told him I was away, but then I came into the room and said, sorry, I was shitting. And I was just telling him the truth.
And it was one of the best things he had heard in years. Supposedly.
I guess. I mean, that's the way things have been going for us Sugarcubes. I mean, it's all a misunderstanding. You say a strict fact like that, and they make you famous.
Because he said something so uninhibited and open like that? I mean, not many artists would come in and say something like that. They'd say, sorry, I was late, I missed my train, or, something like that.
There are no trains on the toilet.
I'm not saying that our success is only because of that sentence. But
no, but I mean, for, things like that, the uninhibited nature of the band, even in the lyrics, like Birthday and what that deals with.
But if I would have said that to an interviewer in Iceland, he wouldn't have read it down. But the guy in Britain, he wrote it in the paper and everybody talks about it.
Exactly, because it's something that, like I said, not many other artists would even say, let alone admit.
Why?
I'm sitting in a chair and drinking coffee, so what?
Well, that's a little different than sitting on the stool, you know? Reading the new sounds or NME or whatever.
It's the same activity. You're sitting down.
True. So we're speaking about movies a second ago, the James Bond thing. Einar, there's actually 2 Einars in the band, right?
No, he had.
Oops.
He's not in the band.
What happened?
He's not. He decided that he wanted
A break.
a break. He was in the original lineup. He went away.
He went to Israel?
Yeah, to Israel to indulge in
Picking oranges.
We were
and drinking, and he decided to do that again. So we found an old friend of ours, another old friend of ours, who's called Margaret, and she is now playing keyboards instead of him.
She's got the same birthday as I got,
Really?
except she's 2 years younger.
That's very interesting to know. But the Einar you were talking about is the guy, he went away to Israel, and from what I understand, he almost got a part in Rocky 3 or Rambo 3, whatever.
Rambo 3.
Yeah.
He waited for 2 months to get killed by Mr. Sylvester Stallone
In a cave.
in a cave.
As a,
And he didn't even get the part, did he?
No.
Unbelievable.
He
But he
couldn't
picked-
afford to wait any longer.
but he picked oranges for 9 months, and we were discussing that fact with an Israeli taxi driver just half an hour ago. How interesting that is.
Picking oranges?
Yeah.
Why? What is so interesting about it? Sounds pretty
Nothing,
dull.
that's why he's here driving taxi.
So why would he rather pick oranges in Israel than be a member of the Sugarcubes?
Ask him.
We tried, but he couldn't answer, so we don't know.
It's quite ironic because I also read in this issue of Sounds that you thought that he was probably one of the best musicians in the band out of anybody. I don't know if they misquoted you or if that was actually...
that's true. I mean, he is a brilliant musical mind, but unfortunately, he didn't mix with us, so we decided to get a person whom we can mix with, both socially and mentally.
And cosmically, I mean, if the birthday is the same as Björk's, there's got to be some kind of... Exactly.
Yeah, well, cosmically on the sun, possibly, but no, so we're not that cosmic, we were very earthbound. I mean, we do all the normal things like,
Sit on chairs, drink coffee, shit. Name it.
Sounds pretty normal to me.
Yeah, it is normal. Everybody does it.
So you want to play another song from the album, or CD actually, because you can't find this one on the album. I don't know where this song came from. Cowboy.
Yeah.
It wasn't a B-side or anything like that, was
No,
it?
it was on a special 10-inch remix.
It was on the special.
It was on the Deus 10-inch remix?
Yeah. But
Was that the unlisted track?
Yeah.
The one with no
Yeah.
name? Because
Yeah.
there's 3 songs on the back, and it only says, it only names 2 of them.
Yeah, but this song is a tribute to Dennis Weaver in his job as Mr. McCloud,
Really?
the policeman.
Are you familiar with him from TV over there?
Yes.
Big fan of that?
I loved McCloud.
Have you seen all the episodes?
I did when they were, and I loved it.
So why don't we play this, the tribute to Dennis Weaver as McCloud, as told by the Sugarcubes?
Yes, please.
Now it's found only on the 10-inch Deus Remix EP, or the CD version, the American CD of Life's Too Good.
Don't buy it in London or anywhere else, because you can't get it anywhere else than
I know.
in the States.
What a rip-off,
I know, we are con artists.
All right, this is from the Icelandic con artists, the Sugarcubes, from Life's Too Good, the CD version, or if you wish, if you like vinyl, Deus, the 10-inch remix of that. It's called Cowboy on WNYU's New Afternoon Show. WNYU's New Afternoon Show. Those are the Sugarcubes. You can find that one on the CD. Also on the Sounds Waves 3 compilation, which is a 7-inch, also featuring the Pixies, the Pogues, and the Wedding Present. That one came out way before the LP did, so a lot of people were thinking that that was an exclusive track. And actually, on the 7-inch itself, it said exclusive to Sound. So I guess it was for a time, but not anymore, because it is the same version, isn't it?
I think it's the same version. I never can remember sort of the difference between songs. They sound all the same to me.
We are not technical bastards, by the way.
No, we're not.
But you never actually went in the studio and re-recorded it.
No, we don't re-record songs. We record them once and then we work on them. And
Sometimes we add things and skip things.
Right,
and
obviously, as with the Cold Sweat remix and the Deus remix,
Yeah.
which are both different versions.
I mean, so it's just different things that we do. I mean, it's not like that we're ripping people off or anything like that. It's just the way we work.
It's also we make the song, and then we work on it, and it sort of changes. I mean, we sort of change opinions on how the song should be.
Right.
Just it's not that we got few songs and we don't know what to do.
It's just that we every little change that we do to every song is different for us.
Now, are you the lyricist of the band, Björk? Do you write all the lyrics?
No, I write what I sing, and Einar writes what he sings. But there are 2 songs so far that Thor, the guitarist, he's sitting here as well. He makes the lyrics to "It's Delicious Demon" and an Icelandic track called "Taktu Bensinelskan." And Take some petrol, honey. And Thor also, just to make everything clear, Thor also makes the middle part, which Einar says in "Cold Sweat."
Right. Which one is that?
It's the part that Einar sings.
That comes. What does he say? I'm trying to remember.
The middle part. It's
the little spoken word part.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the rest, I write my lyrics and Einar writes his lyrics.
So you wrote the lyrics to Motor Crash then, since you sang that.
Well, yes. Well, there's part in Motor Crash which he sings as well.
Was that based on a true experience? Were you actually riding your bike down the street and you saw?
No.
So that was just a fantasy type thing.
It's a variation of what was going on in my head.
And what was that?
Just speculation on that subject.
But anyway, you had a motocross in London a few years back. You were riding a bicycle and
yes,
the cab drove you down.
I didn't remember that until long after I wrote the lyric. But I'm not very good in analyzing why I write my lyrics. But yes.
But anyway, who hasn't had a motocross? It's the most common thing, I think.
Very true. I mean, I remember how I got rid of my first car. But
I'm having a driving lessons now.
Really?
I've already had 9.
Not here in the U.S. though.
No.
Over on the other side of the car, where they drive, on the left. I mean, on the right side instead of we drive on the left side here.
No, we drive on the same side that we are.
But is the steering wheel in the same side of the car?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's the English who are weird.
Who are backwards.
Yeah. Not us.
Exactly.
We're a bit left wing, I think.
So speaking of your lyrics, I read a funny story where I think the House Martins, our favorite band here, misinterpreted the lyrics to "Birthday" somewhat, didn't they?
Yes.
Well,
in a very funny way.
I like when people misinterpret our lyrics. Like one guy who we talked to yesterday, he thought that in the song "Deus," where Einar is singing about somebody with a quiff and sideburns, he think that Deus was Elvis Presley.
I know a lot of people think that Elvis Presley is Deus, but I don't know about the other way around.
Yeah, but I just think it's brilliant when people do that. I think it's brilliant.
Make their own sort of meaning out of what we write. It's brilliant.
Well, that's what it's all for, isn't it?
Creative listening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just give them the motivation to start, thinking about what they want, and then they take it from there. Which is why a lot of people hate videos, because videos really give you what you're supposed to think the song is about instead of creating any imaginative, thinking.
Well, not all videos. You can make a video that is some sort of makes your mind goes ticking. It's possible.
As long as people think when they're making videos that it's an addition to the song, not an instrument to answer all the questions,
right.
which are, but just an addition, like one instrument more or something.
Now, speaking of videos, I believe you had a video for "Cold Sweat." I didn't see it, but a couple people around here saw it on a program that airs a lot of
Snub TV.
Exactly. Yeah, they saw it around here on Snub TV, and I heard it was pretty wild. I don't really know the gist of it, but from what I understand, the BBC had some problems with it.
No, well, the whole television institute in Britain had very much trouble, and they demanded that we should cut a stomach out of it because it was sexually suggestive.
A stomach?
Yeah, I don't know what you do with a stomach when you're yes.
But I believe that the British are very imaginative in sex matters.
Yeah, but how about George Michael? He can get away with almost anything, I mean, he can practically throw on naked bodies and not have to redo it. I think, don't you feel sort of slighted that you were using something?
There was also crucifixion in the song, but I mean, the British have their religion is mostly based up on a crucifixion, and if they can't see a crucifixion in the television, there must be something wrong with them.
Hiding from their own past or something like that?
I just think, I mean, it's just they're not being honest
Right.
about. I mean, it's some. Hvað heitir þetta svona hræsni? It's just hypocritical.
True.
That they can see some things, but some they can't. Like Einar was pointing out to me that they got these papers, and you know the 3-page girls in Britain. You know
Yeah,
that?
Samantha Fox is the well-known one. You know, that's how she got her start, not because of her musical talent or musical songwriting
She's very
ability.
talented.
I'm not saying anything against Samantha Fox.
I am.
I'm just saying that it's weird that they have things like that on just a normal newspaper.
Which
you know?
anybody can get. You know,
Yeah,
anybody has access to that. Just go down to the newsstand. A little 3-year-old can go down and slap up his money.
And these newspapers are sort of bought for family reading.
Right.
And that's no problem.
But here they have.
But you can't have stomachs in television.
But you can
that
have
makes them sick.
It is pretty silly.
There must be something wrong with them.
But you didn't feel like they had something against you, that you were being...
No, we're not paranoid at all.
Okay, that's good.
Why is the policeman standing outside?
I mean, the world loves us.
We love the world.
So from what I understand, you replaced the bad parts of the video, quote unquote, with apes or something like that,
With
footage of apes.
Chimpanzees,
Exactly.
because our dear leader Smurf, we've got a leader, our mental guru
A
Smurf.
spiritual leader.
Yeah.
Smurf.
A gorilla.
Smurf. He's a big gorilla, and as he is a gorilla, we thought, why not put monkeys into it as a tribute to him? So we added another new dimension to the video and the song.
And also, Smurf, our leader, wanted to put the monkeys in there to show the British nation what it was.
What it was based upon. A nation of monkeys.
I mean, it's
not a nation of shopkeepers.
I don't mind if they don't see the good parts in the video. I mean, they're missing something. I mean, they lose. Not me. I've seen it.
That's a good attitude to have. I think that's very healthy. But also, from what I understand, I don't know if the remix of Cold Sweat came before the video or after, but then there's that part where the spoken word about let's do the monkey or something like that. Not until you're going to treat me like a monkey. Something.
It's based on the same reason.
Yeah. It's based on the same reason.
It's a tribute and an ode to Smurf.
Yeah. Smurf. S-M-U-F-F.
Oh, Smurf.
Smurf.
Okay.
And he is one of the most crucial figures in our life.
Did the remix come before or after the changes in the video?
After.
So did the changes in the video have anything to do with the fact that you put your tribute to Smurf into the video? I mean, the remix?
No, it's just that we thought we'd go all the way, and now our leader, he is smiling and he's bringing us good luck, even here in the States.
Are you
in New York.
I haven't seen any elements of Mr. Smurf or Miss Smurf, if I don't know.
He is present here.
He was here
through the window.
Like 1 minute ago. He's downstairs.
Is that Mr. Smurf?
That's Mr. Smurf.
I mean, he solved so many problems. We couldn't decide what color our album should be, so he said, why not have them all?
How many are there actually? There's 7 variations from what I understand.
Blame him.
You blame him for making us spend, $60 to go out and get every variation.
No, you should make your own mind up. If we can't make your own mind up, we have to make our own minds up.
I mean,
I only buy the blue color for my friends because I think that's pretty.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoy the blue the most, actually, from what I understand.
And so, why limit people's sort of creativity?
What is it?
Creativity.
Freedom of choice.
Yeah, buying.
I mean, I answer the phone all the time, and people are asking me, "What color should I buy? What color should I buy?" And I tell them. I mean, I'm like.
So she's the great exaggerator.
The one with this color, the orange color, has There's two different ones with the orange color, aren't there?
Yes.
With a green cubes and also a blue cube, or there's 2 different colors of cubes on the orange color. So it gets very confusing for, the big fans of the band, because I'm sure they want to go out and have everything.
Well, just be lucky that we didn't put it also on the CD. You only can buy one color of the CD.
Oh, there is only one color?
Yep.
I thought there was going to be 6 as well.
No, we can't.
CDs are expensive.
This cost us a lot of money to have it different colors because we get them packaged in every box differently.
Well, we had some desperate fan letters. Like, people were writing to us and asking if the CD would be, only one color or 6 because it would ruin their financial stuff.
Exactly.
I also think it's good for people's creativity if they just make the sleeves themselves as well. They can find by themselves thin paper and draw the outlines through that, and then they can have all the colors they want.
And they can do the homemade Sugarcubes cover.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you just mentioned the do-it-yourself cover, because the artwork seems very original and unique. It seems like something that the band has to do with. Would you guys have to say that you do all the cover artwork yourself?
No, we don't. We found a person who has got the same IQ as us, and naivety and stupidity, and we said, do our album
Total
covers.
ignorant.
Yeah. Use your ignorance to do our covers, and he's managed so far to do nearly what we want.
There seems to be some kind of continuing theme with the little figures that are on both the LP, the CD, and on the inside of some of the 12 inches on the actual label itself. Is there any story behind that, or is it just creative flow out of his head?
Yeah, just it's him to blame. Don't blame us, and don't shoot us outside the Dakota building.
Another funny thing about the artwork is the hand on the Cold Sweat remix and original 12-inch, because there's these little signs in the place where I live. They have the street sign. You drive down the road and there's this little sign and there's just a big hand that looks exactly like this, and it's some sort of thing that says "Stop crime now," or help. It's like Child Watch or something like that. So I thought that was very interesting.
That's what the Sugarcubes are about.
Yeah.
Stop crime now.
Yeah.
It's funny because I wanted to steal that sign and bring it in and show you guys and give it to you, just so you can see. So it would have promoted crime actually, because there I am vandalizing
We want
the local.
people to become nice. I mean, that's why we're playing. That's our vision.
The main incentive.
Yep.
Want to bring about world peace somehow, or is that a little far-fetched at this point?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
If you could, you would.
Yeah. Make everybody, not sort of love each other, because then I think we get into big trouble, with our wives and our dear loved ones. But just take it easy.
Are you surprised at all with what I guess we could call sudden success of the band, since you've only been together for 2 years and 1 week? Because it seems like all of a sudden you're the press darlings in the UK. Everybody in the US wants to know who the Sugarcubes are. Everybody's asking about them. Very curious.
Yeah, no, I mean, for us it's just a very nice surprise, because we don't expect anything. We like the alcoholics. We take every day as it comes,
right.
And we don't make any 5-year plans like the Russians or the Americans who make. How long is your president elected for?
8 now. Well, this one's been in office 8 years. You're usually elected for 4 years. You can get elected for 4 more.
Yeah, if
He must be bored.
We must be bored of him.
Well, we don't know.
So it didn't come as much of a surprise?
No.
Everything is a surprise for us. I mean, our daily life is a surprise, that we actually wake up in the morning and we're not dead. And so everything is is a nice surprise.
I read somewhere that one of the members of the band is a big fan of the British music trades and would read NME, I believe it was, religiously, and all of a sudden seeing the band, in NME, the person in the band found it very hard. So that was you, Einar?
Yeah.
You found it very hard to believe that was actually you and the Sugarcubes that they were referring to.
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't connect. I found the name very sort of familiar, and I was trying to remember what had this band done in the past. What have they done? And
My mother had to have a record with him or something.
Yeah, and I didn't know what was happening, so it just really surprised me, and I didn't connect, but I've nearly connected now. I'm not sure though.
It's begun to sink in, but not quite fully yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not a dream and not a nightmare. I hope this is real.
I mean, this is pretty weird for us. I was trying to describe this to a lady in the telephone today. That it's because she didn't understand that I couldn't connect myself to this girl who's in this band Sugarcubes, these magazines abroad. And I told her that it would be like if she was elected the most beautiful face in New Zealand, and she would be on all the front covers over there, and they would send photographers and journalists over to her once in a while and take pictures of her, and she would say all right, because she was sort of proud, but still she would continue doing her things, but seeing this New Zealand, well, it's not even New Zealand, because we're always reading magazines with different language and everything. Well, that's, to me, I mean, Einar has been reading these papers a lot, but, well, the rest of us haven't really. And it's just so weird. It's like, I mean, you can't connect yourself to it. It's just so far out somehow. I can't.
Seems pretty hard to actually get a grasp of if it comes about, like we said, you know, in such a sudden way, as opposed to if you were working at it for 10 years and it came little by little. And the reporters came to your house maybe twice a year instead of all the time.
Yeah, but we didn't form the Sugarcubes to get famous or
Right.
get a major record deal. We did it for our own mental health. So I think now all sort of, you call them shrinks?
Yeah,
Yeah,
psychiatrists, shrinks.
Psychiatrists, I think that we are now, because
The next big shrink.
yeah, we are the next big shrink. I mean, I think it saved us from the couch, so if people listen to our music, then it will possibly help them to, you know, a lot of expenses. Our record is selling for $10, buy it, and you don't have to pay the shrink.
Mhm.
And the crimes will stop completely.
So there you have it, a cheap way of solving your own
The
problems.
best way.
Exactly. Now, recently in England, you played the gig we've been talking about, and surprisingly enough, the Jesus and Mary chain did a little set opening for you guys, which seems like a unique thing, as opposed to Sugarcubes opening for Jesus and Mary chain, who seemingly have been around a little bit longer, who have more records out, etc., etc. So, you know, a lot of people were surprised to see that they did, first of all, an all-acoustic set, second of all, opened for the Sugarcubes. How did that come about?
I mean, I want to make one thing clear.
Okay.
We're not bigger than the Jesus and Mary chain.
Right,
I mean,
which is why people...
It's
That's
just,
not the point.
Yeah.
I mean-
They respect us, and as we do, we respect them.
Yeah, we've got mutual feelings, and they're from Scotland, and we've always got on well with Scottish people. I don't know why. And we met them, and Smurf, our leader, he pointed out that they were from Scotland as well, and why don't we ask them to play the concert with us, an acoustic set?
And we would open for them at any time.
Yeah, and they said yes. And then there came this sort of brilliant scheme of we should do Birthday again with Jesus and Mary chain. And
How did that idea come about?
ask Smurf, our leader.
So we have the unanswered questions that have to
No,
be...
I mean that just came about that it would be, you know, fun to ask the most unlikely people around, and we asked them, and they said yes.
So Smuff approached them?
No, we approached
Okay.
them, and I mean they said yes. So everything came from that. So we did a version called Christmas of Birthday. And
Just Jesus having birthday.
Right.
yeah, so we've got it here with us, so if you want to hear it, you can.
Now there's one or two different versions of this.
There's one noisy one and one not so noisy.
Should we play them both?
Let's play just the noisy one.
The noisy one?
Yeah, it suits New York.
Okay, so this is the Jesus and Mary chain along with the Sugarcubes on Christmas birthday or birthday and Christmas? What's the actual title?
Christmas is a birthday, isn't it?
The
Yeah,
Christmas
true. So it's sort of
version.
redundant.
So it's just Jesus and Mary chain, and the Sugarcubes celebrate Christmas.
Okay, or celebrate a birthday, whichever way you want to look at it.
Anyway.
So this is definitely an exclusive track, heard nowhere else in the world, I guess, except here right now. So why don't we play it and
World
just
premiere.
let the music do the talking. This is Jesus and Mary chain and the Sugarcubes' Birthday on WNYU's New Afternoon Show. Luft guitar, the Sugarcubes from the Deus 12-inch, and that features Johnny Triumph on guitar. Now, who is this Johnny Triumph fellow?
Johnny Triumph is the alter ego of one of our dearest friends in Iceland. He's a poet, but when he turns into a rock and roll animal, he turns into
Johnny
Triumph. Now, make no mistake about it.
It's about this sickness that boys have when they go to discos.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them don't dance, but they sit and wait and watch the girls dance, and then they become hilariously drunk, and then they go to the dance floor and take guitar solos. So
Air guitar.
this song is called Luftgitarre, which means air guitar.
Exactly. Seems like a worldwide phenomenon because you go to a lot of shows here in America and you'll see that.
No, and also they got, in Norway, we learned the other day, they've got air guitar competitions.
Really?
Yearly
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, yearly.
Who's the best air
They
guitar?
actually,
Yeah.
that's a big feature at a lot of clubs around here in America, usually smaller suburban clubs
Yeah.
as opposed to, you know, your clubs in New
They've got
York.
a national air guitar competition, and people flock all over Norway to partake.
Really?
Yeah.
But they cheat a little bit. They play on brooms and tennis rackets.
Which gives you the real feeling as opposed to just sitting there, you know. I mean, if you watch most...
It's much more abstract just to deal with the air.
But if you watch most people who just play air guitar, they wind up playing their leg, you know. I mean, they're strumming their leg as opposed to if you have a broom or something to give you the feel of where the guitar would really be.
Some use their penises. I've seen that.
Really?
But then they're hilariously drunk.
Usually a lot of rappers will do that kind of thing, you know, over here. You see the Beastie Boys and stuff, you know, grabbing it down there like it's going to go somewhere without them.
I think it would if they wouldn't. That's what I think.
It might. So that's the first time, aside from Birthday, which we'll talk about in a second, the Jesus and Mary Chain version, that you've asked somebody outside the band to come in and perform with you?
Yeah. And it's hopefully, when we get everything negotiated, we'll bring it out this summer.
The Jesus and Mary Chain thing?
Yeah, to combat all the heat in this world, you know. It's too hot here in New York, so people listen to this and they'll cool down. Man.
Do you think you'll put both versions on the 12-inch? Say the loud version on one side and the softer version on the other side?
No comment.
No comment?
You have to wait and listen.
You're getting good at those American press, answers. No comment.
No comment.
You've been studying our president.
You wait till you get the record. If it comes out, it will be a nice surprise. As birthday should be. Birthday should always be a nice surprise.
Do you think you'll ever do...
You have it once a year.
True. Unless you consider, like you were talking about Christmas, there's another birthday right there.
But then it's not your birthday.
Very true. Unless you think you're Deus or Christ yourself.
Or Elvis Presley.
Then you have 3 birthdays. But, so, do you think you'll ever work with the Jesus and Mary Chain in the future as far as recorded works, or was this pretty much a one-off, we did it, and,
At the moment, it's a one-off, and, I mean, we just, hopefully we'll get to be good friends, and we'll just see from that. We don't, we don't make plans.
As you said before.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you did a previously released Sugarcube song as opposed to something completely new that you wrote together, you know?
Yeah, but we find it fun to do that.
Yeah, the difference is quite obvious as well.
Yeah, I mean, we are con artists, but I think we are pretty clever con artists. We want your money.
As opposed to the obvious con artist who just comes up and tries to take it from you.
Yeah, we want your money to be able to continue, putting out more cons.
So you're very...
Life's a con.
And then you die.
Then you die.
We'll have to write that one down, you know?
That's another famous Sugarcube remark.
Now, why did you decide to ask Johnny Triumph to play on lift guitar?
Well, we didn't really ask him because he came to us and said, listen, I've got this really good idea. I'm going to write these lyrics about young boys getting drunk and playing lift guitar, and I want you to make a song. And we liked the idea, so we just did.
I think it came out pretty good, actually. It sounds like the Sugarcubes, arena anthem, something you'd be playing opening up for Ted Nugent or Aerosmith or Whitesnake or something like that.
The other way around, don't you?
Those guys opening up for the Sugarcubes? True. I did see in the Village Voice that you guys were going to be playing Madison Square Garden with Van Halen opening up.
Are we?
No, I'm just joking.
Oh, okay, great.
So speaking of quote-unquote well-known musicians and performers and stuff like that, I also recently read that Björk, you were going to do something with Sinead O'Connor, who actually called you the best singer she's ever heard in the world.
She's my favorite.
She's your favorite as well? And you're her favorite? From what I read.
I'm so humble. I don't know.
Well, just put it same to her, double.
Do you know what you're going to be doing at this point, or has it been recorded already, or?
We've met. We met and discussed it. I'm sorry, my English.
Discussed it.
And it was disgusting.
But the only thing we've done so far is letting our kids meet, and they sing a lot together.
Really?
But she'll probably come to Iceland in July, and then we'll record some songs. We haven't really decided what to do yet, but so far we want to do one traditional Irish folk song and one traditional Icelandic folk song, which we've picked out and listened to together and stuff like that.
So that won't really require much band playing?
No, we just have to see when she comes over, because it's difficult to say. If you decide too much, everything will just be stiff or something. You just have to see what happens, really.
So she's coming up to Iceland. I would assume that if there was going to be a band involved, it would be the Sugarcubes as opposed to her touring band.
I don't know. Well, it's exactly. In fact, it isn't really decided that she's coming to Iceland. Sort of that's the most likely thing at the moment in July. But we just have to see because we happen to be very busy, the both of us, and we just have to see.
Very understandable. Well, you'll have to let us know what happens. Send us some sort of correspondence and let us know how it's going and what actually turned out.
Okay.
So, Einar, I know you some previous band experience that I was recently informed as to. I don't know how to pronounce the band's name. I think it's Kukl?
Yeah, Kukl.
Now, what was that like? Because I'm totally unfamiliar with the band.
Yeah, me too as well now, after it's split up in
He's got a bad memory.
Yeah, I've got a bad memory. Did I just say?
I was in that band too.
You were?
Yeah.
And the drummer of the Sugarcubes as well.
So it's the Sugarcubes is actually an offshoot of that?
No, totally different. The Sugarcubes are members or are employed by a company called Bad Taste SM, and which is our company in Iceland.
And that's the label that your records are released on in Iceland?
Yeah, Bad Taste, and that's just
I mean, we were 6 people in different bands, and we just got bored and decided to form this Bad Taste company. And we the first thing we did even was to publish a postcard, which was published when Reagan and Gorbachev were there fighting in Iceland.
Fighting.
And we decided to make a totally tacky postcard, one so ugly that it would sort of be the last postcard we would buy ourselves. Sort of peaceful watercolor paintings of Reagan and Gorbachev shaking hands and smiling with their flags in the back and all that. And it became a bestseller.
Really?
All the tourists that came to Iceland and all the media people and all that who were sort of finding out what's going on there, they bought it.
They loved it?
Yeah. And we managed to publish our first 7-inch, which was Birthday in Icelandic, with that money, and what paid the cover was a sponsor we got from a company which imports sugar, and that was totally Bad Taste as well, because the back cover of the 7-inch sleeve was just a huge logo from the sugar company Fabric. The company was saying buy Dan Sugar. I mean, it
was like an advertisement for that sugar?
Yeah, totally tacky, but people bought that as well. I mean, now we fooled the whole world. They're listening to a totally Bad Taste pop group all the time, and they say it's good. And I've even read in some papers that it's supposed to be good musicians as well.
Really?
Yeah, the con is perfect.
Exactly, all around, you've got it covered. But back to Kukl, what was that like? I mean, what was the sound similar? Is there anything you can compare to or any way?
It was good fun while it lasted, but then we just ran into a brick wall and we got unconscious for a while, and then we woke up and decided to form the Sugarcubes. It was very different, much more manic, obsessive,
dramatic,
bleak, boring, fun,
black.
Bleak.
What label did the Kukl records come out on? Not on Bad Taste?
No, on
Crash
Records in England.
So that was a pre-Bad Taste excursion.
Yeah.
And now there was also a band previous to Kukl,
which is Purkur Pilnik.
How do you pronounce that?
Purkur Pilnik, and I've got here a review in Conflict 48, Summer 88, a review of it, and they say Purkur Pilnik, and they put the album title down as Þetta er framhliðin, which is quite funny because I put that on the keel of the record, and that means this is the front side. And that's because the way you stack your records is always you look at the keel.
The spine.
Yeah,
right.
The spine. And they should try to learn Icelandic before they write, sort of, this record came out in 1981, and they were writing a review now. I think there must be some kind of backward over here.
Well, read on and it explains, it says pre-Sugarcubes, pre-Kukl.
I read it, but pretty whiny and stupid, but I guess that's why they got the 12-year-old girl in there, right? That's me.
Oh, that was you singing?
Yeah, you stupid.
They should learn Icelandic. You would never imagine how many people we meet here that don't speak Icelandic.
I wouldn't
It's
doubt it.
unbelievable.
Believe me, I wouldn't doubt it.
No, it's true.
Obviously, I can't. I couldn't even pronounce the name of the band. So as well, you were also involved, Einar that is, in the Ornamental Project, which was the band featuring members of Strawberry Switchblade, Current 93, maybe Psychic TV, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
sure.
Soft Cell.
Right.
Therefore.
Now, how did that come about? Was that a pre-Sugarcubes project, or was that during your tenure with the Sugar?
Pre-post.
So it's actually an old thing that was just recently released.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in that?
It's just old friends of mine, and we decided to do a disco song about the nightlife in Iceland, and it's just a disco song, nice disco song.
But then there's a couple of B-sides as well.
Yeah, but that's called Heartbreak Hotel, and it's our version of Heartbreak Hotel.
Elvis's Heartbreak Hotel?
You bet.
Deus's Heartbreak Hotel?
Yep, you bet.
That's pretty interesting. So, no more side projects now, though, except for what we've heard with the Jesus and Mary Chain and
But we
Björk.
don't.
Lots of side projects.
Lots of side projects.
We said before we're not going to say what we'll be doing in 6 months.
Right.
I mean, we don't know.
No, we've got a bookshop opening up in Iceland.
Really?
A gallery, a cafe. We're putting up records by Icelandic bands, poetry books, calendars.
I'm getting my driving license.
Look out, get off the road.
I mean, we've got loads of things to do.
So it sounds like you guys are looking forward to total domination of the Icelandic artistic scene.
It's
our contribution. It's
our
really
contribution,
domination.
and also the manifesto of the first article in the manifesto of Bad Taste SM says world domination or death. So
Sounds like a pretty good philosophy to me.
it is. We have to.
I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have any choice.
I have an interesting question, which I know a lot of listeners are probably dying to find out. Since you canceled the gig previously, and I believe it was supposed to be rescheduled for last Saturday or something like that, people are dying to know, when are you actually going to be playing the New York area?
Yeah, we got our work permits yesterday, so we'll be playing in end of July here in New York.
Any venue set?
We don't know the names of them, but I think they will be pretty cool.
So you'll play more than one?
Madison Square Garden or Shea Stadium or something.
Something like that. I can't really, I can't really
I can't
recall.
remember what they're called.
So you will be doing more than one show in New York? I mean, originally it was planned just one show at the club called The World.
Yeah, no, we're probably doing 2 or 3 shows at the beginning, at the end of the tour. We don't know yet.
So we can't really reveal much, except that
No,
the
we-
date is going to be somewhere around the end of July.
Yeah, and we don't know either, you know.
So people will just have to keep listening to the show, because we'll get the information and pass it on to them as soon as we know, or read their local music papers, which will, I'm sure, tell them as well.
Definitely.
Are you looking forward to playing the U.S.?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think it'll be any different than playing anywhere else? I mean, the crowd reaction, response, or...
Every place is different, so we just, you know, it's exciting for us to play, you know, different venues every night. Live, we're a live band, we're not a studio band. We're real human beings.
It'll also be good that you're playing in July as opposed to when you were supposed to play, just because the record had just been released here, and a lot of people were going on curiosity's
But
sake.
we won't, but we won't play any tracks from the album during our live shows.
Really?
Yeah, we play just cover versions.
No, get out of here.
Okay.
I didn't mean literally. Echo and the Bunnymen did that, actually.
I'm just kidding, you know, it's a con.
Okay.
It's another con by the
Hvað þýðir þetta con alltaf?
Það fake.
Fake?
Já.
Plant.
Ég skil ekki, þið alltaf að tala um eitthvað con og ég skil ekkert hvað það tala
Tala um conman.
Nei.
You'll fit right in New York City, though, because we have enough of those con men to go around,
Okay,
you know.
brilliant.
But Echo and the Bunnymen did that a couple of years ago, which is why I almost took you seriously about the all-covers set, you know,
No,
and a
we
lot of bands have been doing that
No,
lately.
we don't do that. We're so bad musicians, we can't cover other people's songs.
Can't even learn them, huh?
That's why we keep making our own songs all the time.
We have to. Dire, desperate need. We always have to play our own songs because we can't cover other people's songs.
Do you have a lot more material written that's not on the album that's waiting to be released? Yeah? So you're constantly writing new stuff? Do you think we'll be seeing some new material, non-LP from the Sugarcubes, like maybe some B-sides of the next single in America to come out soon?
Yeah, we play everything that we know and or we remember. You know, we've got very short memory, so during our concerts we try to play what we can remember.
Which must be not much if they're relying on you.
Excuse me?
With the long-term memory there.
What?
Where are you?
Exactly. What's your name again?
know I've got it tattooed inside my lip what my name is.
So we brought up some goodies to give away.
Brilliant.
And I believe it includes 5 LPs, 5 cassettes, and 2 CDs to some lucky winners.
Oh, brilliant.
And we were asking you if you had any kind of question that we could ask the listeners when they call up to answer, so in order to win, instead of just calling up and saying, "Yo, did I win the record?"
Yeah,
Hey.
okay. We've got a very simple question. What is our leader's mental guru name? Can you translate this?
The mental guru, the spiritual leader of the Sugarcubes.
What is his name?
What is his name? And we need the correct pronunciation and spelling. We won't take any wrong answers. But we don't, exactly. We won't take calls just yet. Why don't you unplug that
Can we
sucker
take a part
over
of the competition?
there? No, you can't take. You get the albums for free anyway.
No.
No, we don't.
You don't?
No, we buy them in Iceland.
Through your own company.
Well,
It's a tax write-off. I don't want to hear about it.
exactly.
So one more question I wanted to ask. It's really interesting that all these major labels were chasing you, from what I understand, in England, yet you wanted to stay with One Little Indian because they had that homey, small, all-encompassing feel.
Flower pots and
Flower pots in the window and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Why didn't you want to opt for the major label deal as opposed to what you did in America instead of going with like?
No, I mean I don't regard, or we don't regard that we have, failed anybody's expectations, and being on Elektra is just the same homely feeling for us, because we just walk in there and we take our shoes off and everybody feels that we've got bad smelling feet, plus
but they're learning to like it.
yeah. And so why not? And our socks stink, and we've got bad breath,
Just like everybody else.
yeah, and why not,
Just normal human beings.
Exactly.
if they want to endure us, they can, if we'll endure them. But not all companies are ready for that kind of excruciating treatment.
Right, but why did you decide to stay with One Little Indian in the UK as opposed to going with, say, an Elektra or a Warner Brothers or a large label over there?
Because our leader is at One Little Indian, and we're not telling the name of our leader now because we've got a competition.
Exactly. We wouldn't give it away.
I would.
You would, yeah, because you're a con man, but I'm not going to let you, because if you do, then we'll play that other version of Birthday again.
Oh no.
No, I'm just kidding.
Save us.
Okay.
It's just if we could, we would take care of all the world with One Little Indian, but it's just it's not capable. We weren't capable of doing that. We figured that out. Thing like United States of America is just so big. And we're pretty suspicious on who we work with and who we don't. And we've been working with the same people since we started. And it's also always been sort of very little people, but everybody's sort of friends. And you can't say this one is a manager and this is this or what. Everybody sort of does the thing together. So it was a huge decision for us. It took us a very long time and long discussion and lot of worries for us to decide if we were going on a big label or not. And we finally decided to work with Elektra because they seemed far most sort of reasonable and nicest people, and now we got to know them, and we think anyway so far, we've stayed here for 3 days now, that we will be able to work with them as we've worked with people so far. And like we've said 100,000 times, and probably 2 times more, we don't work for people and people don't work for us. We work with people, and we're not into having servants around us or serve anybody. That was what the other big companies were asking. They just wanted to take a lot but not give anything, and we're not taking any of that shit.
Said as you say in here, no way, Jose.
No, that's how you say it here, where this comes from.
Yes. Oh, where are we?
Yeah, exactly.
Ohio.
Ohio. They've been fooling us all the time. I thought that was in New York.
Con artist.
Exactly, you thought you were con artists.
It's just a setup.
So I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to stop by. It was a great pleasure to meet you and finally find out what the minds behind the music is actually like.
Yeah, total mess.
And we hope to see you back when you come into town in July to play. We'd love to have you back up and to talk some more because there's a lot of things that we didn't get to touch on, and I'd like to try and dig some more out of those con artist, non-paranoid, non-hypocritical minds.
You haven't talked to the other half of the band yet.
True, so we'll bring them up too.
Oh no.
We'll have all
yes,
six.
yes. You'll have total chaos on
Exactly,
your
we'll have all six. We'll have a big party,
Okay, brilliant.
Great time.
Let's smell us
Keep
bad as
phoning
we-
in. You will win those records.
So let's just repeat the question one more time.
What is the name of our spiritual leader?
Okay.
The spiritual leader of the Sugarcubes.
Okay, so name the spiritual leader. We need the correct pronunciation. And he's in the other room, so if we have any discrepancies, we'll just bring him in.
He's cuddling a pink panther, embracing.
A giant Pink Panther. Now he looks like he's strangling it, Robert Chambers style or something. Don't kill our Pink Panther. But
He's meditating.
okay,
Our
so
spiritual leader.
name the spiritual leader of the Sugarcubes, and you can win either an LP, cassette, or CD of their recent LP, Life's Too Good. And as I said, Einar, Björk, and Thor, my pleasure to have you stop by. I appreciate it greatly. We're looking forward to seeing you in July and seeing the live show as well.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Okay. So what do you want to go out with? One song, another song from the CD version of the...